Hey everyone, and welcome back to Dank Farrik for another Star Wars What If, a series where we take looks at all corners of the Star Wars universe and wonder what could have happened. Today we are going to look at Palpatine's offer to Rey, embracing the dark side and becoming Empress, and also what could have happened if she had. And also, if you guys happen to have any Star Wars what-ifs that you want me to look into and cover, let me know below. These seem to be the most well-received and popular videos on the channel, so if you're enjoying them, then let's keep them up because I know I am. Also, something to note, we've climbed to almost 50 subscribers. Thank you guys so much for your continued support. I am stoked for the future as we continue to grow here. But now, without anything further, let us ask ourselves, what if Rey embraced the dark side and joined Palpatine?
Join me. You killed him.
Just as the original story goes, young Rey would be plagued and haunted by dark and chilling visions. Each time these visions ended with seeing herself on the throne in the ancient Sith temple on Exegol. As she landed and slowly made way to the massive throne room, she would indeed still find herself confronted by one of the most powerful Dark Lords of the Sith that the galaxy had ever known, Darth Sidious. But this time, when the Dark Lord extends his hand to her, Rey would not refuse. Sure, she would be conflicted for a short time. The darkness around her was intensive, and the path forward even more so. But she wouldn't be able to deny the Dark Lord in the end. But why wouldn't she say no? Several reasons. One being that Sheev Palpatine, on top of being one of the most powerful Sith ever, is also one of the most influential and convincing people in galactic history. He swayed many to his service as his apprentices and puppets. He lulled his Dark Master, Darth Plagueis, into comfort and trust so he could destroy him in the night. He manipulated the entire galaxy for years and years on end, even convincing thousands of senators to grant him emergency powers and extend his natural and lawful term as Supreme Chancellor. Not to mention that he was also able to turn the galaxy against the Jedi Order, marking them as villains instead of guardians. So on many levels, in many ways, he was capable. And with that, Rey would succumb to his tempting offer.
Long have I waited. For my grandchild to come home. I never wanted you dead. I wanted you here, Empress Palpatine.
Rey could see and feel the battle commencing overhead. She knew she could stop it as the ruler of the Sith fleet. She knew that the galaxy was also pained and ruined with the death of the New Republic and with the fury of the First Order. She knew that she may be the one to restore some spark of order and peace under a new empire. And most of all, she would take Leia's words to heart. Rey, never be afraid of who you are. So Rey would not be afraid. Instead, she would embrace it. She would embrace the darkness. She would kneel before the true Dark Lord and then rise to complete the dark side sacrament, cutting down Palpatine. And with that, Rey would be stronger than she could ever realize. She would now be a Sith. The throne, the fleet, this new empire, all hers. But now, even in this version of the tale, Ben Solo was still on the way to Exegol, and by this point, he would come to find a way to still defeat the Knights of Ren and would be rushing to the throne room. Though instead of finding Rey standing against the Dark Lord, standing against Palpatine, Ben Solo would find Rey standing atop of the steps to the throne, the new Empress and the Lord of the Sith. Do remember though, the Jedi way requires years of training to master, sometimes even to learn simple abilities. But the dark side, it offers a fast route that comes with a dangerous price. Regardless, this means Rey would unlock her dark potential, just as Anakin had in Revenge of the Sith after his own pledge to Sidious. So when Ben Solo found her, the true confrontation of the film would be present. The true confrontation of this sequel trilogy. It is here that the Jedi of the Cosmic Force, the Force Ghost, would stand with or within Ben Solo, the true Skywalker, against the darkness of Rey and Palpatine's spirit which empowers her. The two of them, Empress, Palpatine, and Ben Solo, would break into a battle, something akin to what we haven't seen since Revenge of the Sith, when the light and the dark were truly going head to head for control of the Force, for domination or for balance. I mean, that is what is at stake here as well, and the original fight didn't give it off. So in this case, in our story, it would be so. The duel between Rey and Ben would be larger than anything we saw in the sequel trilogy. Moving on, after the two had clashed lightsabers and pushed their force powers against one another for a time, the most important part of this fight would come. During and after, it would be the words. The words that will prod at Ben to never have returned the light. But most importantly, Ben's words that will guide Rey back into that light, into sense and into logic. And in the end, Ben Solo would pull her back, just as his uncle did to his grandfather, and just as his grandfather destroyed the Emperor. And so, in order to truly end the Sith, and not grant the dark spirits within Rey a new home, Rey Palpatine, the Padawan learner turned Sith Lord, would end herself in a heroic sacrifice, after being reminded of what truly mattered by somebody who had to just go through something similar, giving up the power to do so, to do what he felt right for the light. He showed her the path ahead this way. So, Rey would pass on, just as she did in the film, but this time, Ben would go to answer to the rebellion afterwards. And there it is. What would have come of Rey if she fell to the dark side of the Force? It wouldn't have been a long reign as Empress, and it wouldn't have been a long term as a Lord of the Sith. But the struggles for the balance of the Force would be an intense one as ever, eventually finding itself just as it always does. The balance shall prevail. If you enjoyed this, toss a like to support the channel, or subscribe if you're new to Dank Farrik for Star Wars content on the regular. But anyways, until next time my friends, stay safe and may the Force be with you, always.